Arey, wow. Making the most of it. Love it, love it. Okay, so our next, wow, massively impressed. So we have an amazing panel, sorted out for all of you. It is about demystifying investor decisions, a deep dive into behavior across asset classes. Leaders, as and when I take your name, we request you to kindly come on up, starting off with Mr. Amar Dio Singh. He's the Senior Vice President, Research, Angel One Limited. A big roaring round of applause. Mr. Singh is a CFA, is a seasoned financial expert leading equity, commodity, and currency at Angel One with 18 plus years in banking, software, and financial markets. He's a recognized authority on global markets, passionate about empowering investors. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh. Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Siddharth Srivastava, Head ETF Product and Fund Manager, Mirai Asset Investment Managers Private Limited. Thank you so much, Mr. Srivastava. Thank you for your time. Mr. Srivastava is a seasoned financial services professional with 13 years of experience. His current career includes key roles at NSE Indices Limited and Morgan Stanley Capital International, and demonstrating his expertise in the stock market. Next leader we'd like to call on stage is Mr. Gautam Kalia, Senior Vice President and Head Super Investor Sher Khan by BNP Paribas. Mr. Gautam, thank you so much for your time, sir. Mr. Gautam is a seasoned wealth management expert, leads the Super Investor Initiative at Sher Khan with 20 plus years in finance across India and Middle East. He drives mass affluent growth, a CAIA charter holder, and MBA. Gautam is a frequent media commentator and talented musician. Oh, wow. Next, we have Mr. Alok Chaturvedi, VP and Head of Products, HDFC Securities. Thank you so much, Mr. Alok, for your time. Mr. Alok, Head of Products at HDFC Securities, is a seasoned product management expert with 15 plus years in BFSI. He drives product strategy for retail and HNI segments, focusing on derivatives, algo trading, and wealth management. With a strong academic background, Mr. Alok is a sought-after industry speaker. Next, we have Mr. Bhavin Shah, Director, Latin Manharlal Securities Private Limited. Mr. Bhavin is a seasoned BFSI professional with 16 plus years of experience in crafting tailored financial solutions. His expertise lies in building strong client relationships, expanding business channels, NRI, HNI, and fostering financial literacy. He has successfully led the establishment of an insurance broking division, demonstrating his comprehensive approach to wealth management. Fantastic. Wow, I think I am running out of breath. Can I get a glass of water? No. Next, we'd like to call us. We're presenting you the best. When we say Money Expo will give you the best it is. Next, we'd like to call on stage Mr. Sandesh Nandode, Chief Operating Officer, FX Careers. Mr. Sandesh, a SEBI registered analyst who's trained 2 plus years of experience in stocks, commodities, FX, bonds, and asset management. He's renowned for Forex and crypto training. He's conducted over 550 seminars impacting thousands. His expertise in fundamental geopolitical and technical analysis drives his value investing strategies, sought after by ultra HNI investors globally. Fantastic. And calling the heavyweight, the moderator of this segment is Ms. Priyanka Dabalia, Business Development, Spider Software Private Limited. Ms. Priyanka, a seasoned economist and trader, leads with 7 plus years at Spider Software with 200 plus webinars, 50 plus seminars. She's a renowned industry expert and influential voice in trading community. My God, ladies and gentlemen, can you have a big round of applause? That is one investor per day. एक हफ्ते में 7 दिन, and we have 7 of the best that we have in the industry. Leaders, stage is all yours. Ms. Priyanka, stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
Are we on? Thank you so much. First and foremost, a very good afternoon to all of you all to taking the time out and just check the footfall. Just check around you. It is like heavily crowded, and that's how it should be. That's our community right now. Let's make the most out of it. First and foremost, we are here to explore how the investor behavior has evolved across different asset classes, and especially in the current market scenario. So first, I'm going to speak to Mr. Bhavin Shah. Mr. Bhavin, I would like you to tell me your insight on how the different traditional asset classes like the equities and bonds, they have been impacted by the recent market volatility.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So basically, I think over a period of time, if you go to see, since pandemic, the complete era, the complete dynamics of the markets and the investor fraternity has completely changed. Because if you go to see, there has been a one-way upside in the markets, and there has been a lot of fresh new entrants into the equity markets. So the markets, I think, has with the changing dynamics of the retail perspective and the investors, as a community towards the market, I think a lot of people would have probably chosen this as a career also, looking at the markets. But I think in the recent headlines, we all would have probably come across the statements from RBI and SEBI also, that there are a lot of fixed savings, domestic funds, your FDs, your debt products, a lot of funds have moved into the equity markets. So, largely the impact on the fixed income products, on the debt markets, people, because this has been so attractive, and the market certainly has given a lot of supernormal, returns. And that has, I think, pulled in a lot of crowd, especially the young crowd, into the markets. What we have also observed that, the young millennials who have entered the markets have also probably chosen this as a career, looking at the kind of traction that it has caught eyes, because we as advisors or brokers or distributors, we always fear this, that if one hasn't seen the complete phases or different phases of the market, it's not the one side of the market that one should really take a pinch and keep investing. But I think investing is not a overnight, making money is not a overnight activity as far as stock market is concerned. One should really look at from a long-term perspective, from a wealth creation perspective, rather than a overnight money making machine. So I think a lot of risk averse also have become risk takers, is what we have seen, and they have not realized that, right? If I would be trading with 100 shares, probably I would be trading today with 400 shares. So that is the kind of, I was, if I am an investor and if I was like a risk averse, probably preferring also parking 30-40% of my savings into FDs, probably my FD savings has almost gone zero, and it is all in the stock market. So this has been the larger impact, where you see the crowd going in with the markets. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhavin. We'll take it up with you, Mr. Siddharth. Could you tell me what's your perspective on how the ETFs are perceived, whether they are riskier, whether they are safer bets in the current market scenario?
So, ETFs basically will behave just underlying market behaves, right? That's the power of ETF. When we think about ETF, we only think about Nifty 50, S&P 500, etc. But globally, market itna evolve ho chuka hai that there is so much innovation happening now. So, for example, if I talk about India right now, the most popular ETFs are, from a trading and from an interest point of view, is alpha and momentum based, right? It's a high risk, high reward strategy. But then people are taking a willing call. They know what they are getting into, right? One of the best NFOs, the fundraising was done by a defense index fund recently, right? Again, people are aware what sort of product industry they are getting into. And again, for example, this is the best scenario. You have people who are very bullish about the market, and you have people who are even scared of large cap right now. For them, you have a product like a low vol, which is even more safer than a large cap. And that is just not in India, even globally also. We have this crisis couple of weeks back because of Japanese yen and Japanese central bank behaving in a manner which was not expected. The product which fell the most was leveraged products based on NASDAQ, leveraged product based on FANG. Now these are exotic offerings which are happening in ETFs. which are getting lot of attention. They have lot of risk, but then that risk is something which people know about, right? And they are taking that risk willingly. I think यहाँ पे जो मैं ऑडियंस देख रहा हूँ ज़्यादातर लोग अभी भी माइक्रो कैप में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे होंगे, स्मॉल कैप में इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, बट दे अंडरस्टैंड रिस्क एंड दैट्स द फ्रॉम अ इंडस्ट्री पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू वेरी हेल्दी डेवलपमेंट. बिकॉज अगर मैं देखूँ तो जितना पैसा अल्फा मोमेंटम में आ रहा है उसका आधा ही सही बट लो वॉल में भी आ रहा है. सो देर आर पीपल हु आर taking high risk, but there are people who are obviously are more concerned about valuation and conserving that. So ETFs from a product point of view have expanded their horizons. Right. There are very simple products, then there are very risky products which are not there even on the active MF side. But then that's the power of ETF, that वो transparent है तो you know what you're getting into. And I think we are seeing flows everywhere. We are seeing institution investing in safer, we are seeing retail investing in more riskier, more exotic products. But that's how it is.
Yes, thank you. अगर हम ट्रेडिंग की बात करें तो इट इज़ ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 50% स्ट्रैटेजी एंड 50% साइकोलॉजी. सो साइकोलॉजी इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड दैट्स वेयर आई एम गोइंग टू टेक यू गाइज ऑन. मिस्टर संदेश, आई वुड लाइक यू टू टेल अस whether the cognitive biases like a bias of a loss aversion, जहाँ पे हम सोचते हैं कि मेरा लॉस का दुख ज़्यादा होना चाहिए मेरे प्रॉफिट के सुख से, या फिर यू कैन से अ रीसेंसी बायस वेयर मेरा रीसेंट जो भी न्यूज़ है will that impact my psychology more about my previous experience with the product? What do you feel about it?
Okay. Hello everybody. Good afternoon. बहुत अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स है, देखकर अच्छा लगता है. सो मेनी पीपल दे आर इंटरेस्टेड इन लर्निंग एंड गेटिंग देमसेल्फ एजुकेटेड. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज which are the biases that affect your trading decisions. So I will start with say confirmation bias first. See, these biases are very dangerous for our trading journey, for in fact our successful trading journey. In confirmation bias, what happened? We think that if the initial trend, suppose for example in Nifty the initial trend is positive, in USD CHF the initial trend is positive, so we think that this is a confirmation and we overlook other technicalities or other fundamental factors and we tend to trade into one direction. If we think that gold is going to go up, then it is going to go up. So we don't really like to see what actually changing, if any parameters are changing, fundamentals are changing, technicals are changing. So this confirmation bias is very dangerous. You should be always sitting on a neutral ground when you are sitting in front of the screen, in front of the chart while trading. Then as you say, recency bias. So what happened in this recency bias is, something has recently happened and because of that Euro USD was going up last week, all right? So that recent thing is always on your in your mind and that is reflecting in your trading. So that recency bias will not allow you to really look into other factors which are moving the currency pair otherwise. मतलब हमारे दिमाग में बैठ गया कि 2 हफ्ते से बैंक निफ्टी ऊपर ही जा रहा है, तो वी डू नॉट रियली लाइक टू अंडरस्टैंड कि यहाँ से निफ्टी घूम भी सकता है, बैंक निफ्टी नीचे जा सकता है, पैरामीटर्स चेंज हो रहे हैं, फंडामेंटल्स बदल रहे हैं, कुछ न्यूज़ आ रही है. तो ये एक रिसेंसी बायस जो बड़ा खतरनाक होता है. तो अगेन आई विल रिपीट माई सेल्फ दैट यू शुड बी सिटिंग ऑन अ वेरी न्यूट्रल ग्राउंड व्हेन यू आर ट्रेडिंग. ना आपको चार्ट क्या बता रहा है, यू शुड listen to the chart and then take your decisions. So learning all these things are very important. Then there is something called loss aversion, as you rightly said. See, loss aversion में होता क्या है कि we are treating our loss and profit totally differently and irrationally. Suppose I am getting a profit of $1,000 in a gold XAU USD pair, so I will not feel so excited कि चलो ठीक है ना यार, $1,000 आया, अभी तो 10,000 आना चाहिए, इट्स नॉट अ बिग डील. बट सेम केस, सेम ट्रेडर, अगर उसको लॉस हो रहा है, इफ इज लूजिंग $1,000, ही गेट्स वेरी पैनिक एंड स्टार्टेड ट्रीटिंग इट यार, यो शिट, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग टू मी, फ्रॉम वेयर दिस $1,000 विल कम, दिस इज सच अ बिग लॉस, "Arey boss, you are getting $1,000 profit also." So you should treat your profit and losses equally. So balancing your mind is more important than learning technical or fundamental skills. So it is just said by you that 50% technique and 50% psychology. I will differ with this because it's only 20% technical analysis, 20% skill, and 80% of it is psychology. It's your mind game. So you should be spending as much time as possible to train your mind and brain to be calm, quiet, and be rational when you are taking a trading or investing decisions. So these biases, if you cannot correct your mentality, then you are never going to win, my boss. Because see, understand, dear friends, there are so many scholars in this world, so many Nobel laureates, so many PhD holders, so many intellectuals having high IQ. Why they are not making money into trading and investing? Because it is not a game of IQ, boss. It's a game of discipline and right mentality. So you have to come above these biases, make yourself as neutral as possible, study the chart properly, define your own trading setups, and then trade accordingly.
Well said, well said. We'll take it with Mr. Alok. What do you feel about the influence of these biases on your psychology? How do they affect your product preferences during volatile markets?
So, first of all, thanks a lot for coming here. So, I think he's already covered most of the biases. See, being as a retail consumer, there are several biases. I'll stick to only on the trading and investment underline only. So, start with the status quo. So, for example, I'm stick with any single stock which I know that I'm following from so many days, right? Even in this volatile market, I don't want to change my stocks underlying. Just because I am too much biased, or probably I feel that I know more than others, that's why I'll stick with those underlying. In those in those kind of scenarios, we lost lot of opportunity because we never think through on the other lines, because market is anyways volatile, and we feel that if that particular underline I'm trading or investing from last 3-4 months or 3-4 years, I might be more informed, right? That is one problem statement when you are going on the volatile side. The another volatile side is missing out something, right? So because market is too much volatile, that you as a consumer, you always feel that if any stock which I probably don't know, or I'm not familiar with, or I don't know about sector, then also in volatile market we don't want to touch. That is again the bigger disadvantage, because market volatile is not based on your thought process or your knowledge, right? There are ample of people, right? If someone is making money, there is another person who is losing money. So it's always a 50% probability, right? So even if you think that you are right, there's another person sitting next to you looking for you are wrong, right? So those kind of biasness as a human being, it's look like very simple that you should not be biased, but it's a human being, you have to be. Nobody can remove entire biasness. Nobody. The only thing you can learn is how to minimize your biasness. That's it, right? It's look like very simple. Here we are 5-6 people talking about and giving you the words of wisdom. You look like, right? But the day you will start implementing, it's very difficult. Let me tell you, it's very difficult, right? Telling from our end, because we are doing this from last 15 years, probably we are more disciplined, like my friend has already mentioned. But even those discipline does not work multiple times, right? So you should be very focused, and you cannot minimize everything and anything at one go. It will take time. But you start looking those opportunities with the open mindset. My observation in the recent time, most of the people follow some groups. WhatsApp groups hai, Telegram groups hai, 2-4 those friend ne bol diya, this stock is doing great, right? They start thinking on those lines. If they don't have those stock in portfolio, they start looking for those stocks. Why those stocks or those underline is not in my portfolio? Without even thinking that all 5 can be wrong. It is again another biasness. So in those scenarios, your thinking is going to be smaller. and your decision making is completely depend on those 5-6 people who are probably running the groups or who are giving the most of the information. Like for example, in here only, if there are 100 people talking about one stocks, even if you don't want, you start looking at those stocks, right? So those kind of biasness, it's a human nature, right? But the only thing what we can suggest in very high volatile market, you should be more conscious, because most of the people say volatile market is risky. It's one of the best opportunity to invest, best, right? Most of the institutional player or a large scale player or a prop player looking for those opportunity to make money. In case of retail, we have always a FOMO in those kind of scenarios. Keep your biasness to be as minimum as possible. That where you can leverage that volatile whenever volatile market is, and discipline is the only thing where you can save yourself. Yeah, that's it. That's it from my end.
Yes.
Yep.
Well said. The last week we have seen a lot of dips in the market. There is a thin line between fear and opportunity. There might be an investor who might be fearing the loss and he might take an immediately exit. And there might be an investor who might be thinking of buying at the dip. Taking from there, Mr. Gautam, could you tell me if you have, you might be having a lot of HNIs with you. What is your insight? How do HNIs treat the buy at the dip concept?
So, hi, can you hear me? Yeah. So I'm going to Pune on Wednesday. I had a meeting with a client last week, virtual meeting, and then after the meeting I told my team कि boss मुझे तो आना पड़ेगा, ये समझ नहीं रहा है. So the client, you have to guess the age of the client. I'll tell you the situation. Client has 11 crores financial wealth. All the money is in a single stock. He's got a nice bungalow. And he has borrowed 5 crores against that stock, and now he's telling us, see, I'm paying 9.5-10% interest on this 5 crores. Can you please give me some investment ideas where I can make at least 15-20% on this 5 crores, right? And I spent about an hour telling him, please don't take the loan, no need. Let's just diversify your 11 crores into a healthy portfolio of stocks or mutual funds, PMS, you've got whole suite of options. But दिल नहीं मान रहा client का. So I said कि client का meeting कराओ और wife को साथ में बिठाओ, मैं आ रहा हूँ, right? Wife रहेगी तो थोड़ा sense आ जाएगा. So this is the scenario. Now guess what the age of the client is. I hear 40, 45, 30. The client is 70. So there is no fear in the market. That guy has 2 children, both are settled in the US. There is no fear. उनको पता ही नहीं fear क्या है, उनको पता ही नहीं market correction क्या है. They have forgotten. जो 2008 में हुआ था, where you are sitting then after 5-6 years, 2013, looking at a portfolio where you have 5% return absolute over the last 5-6 years, is the same equity market. People have forgotten, and it is unfortunately our job to be the bearer of bad news and talk about risk, talk about all the downers, all the boring stuff, like discipline and cognitive biases that we have to overcome, asset allocation, and ये सब क्या है, मतलब 6% डेट में थोड़ी पैसा कोई डालता है, net of tax 6-7% थोड़ी चाहिए हमें. So that's the reality that currently there is. This is the mindset. Having said this, I've got some numbers with me. The family office space, about 40% of family offices have doubled their AUM in the last 2-3 years, right? Because of the kind of investments they are making. There are 36 lakh HNIs, HNI defined as 5 crore and above, right? And that figure of 36 lakh in the next 3 to 4 years will become 70 plus lakh. So if you look at the numbers, everything is doubling, tripling, right? But the reality is that people, and especially individual investors, they don't understand risk management. They don't know what they don't know about risk management. If you have a trading setup, I'm with Sher Khan. We manage portfolios of individual trading clients for the last 20 plus years. And उनका जो portfolio हम देखते हैं, the biggest problem is that they hold on to a stock for too long which becomes a loser, right? It was a winner at some point, or they get out of a winner too fast. Those are the two key problems, and we see it always in their portfolio, right? So it's and that is all related to risk management. You can define it post कि नहीं वो मेरा bias था, I got greedy, I didn't want to take that loss aversion, right?
Yes.
Because loss aversion is that you feel twice the pain as you feel the pleasure, right, of the site. So you wanted to avoid that. So those things are all defined post analysis, once the damage is already done. So really risk management is something I think most of us are lacking in as individual investors, and that is why you're better off with an advisor who can at least talk you out of dumb decisions, like I'm going to be go and attempt to do in the following week. Thanks.
You said the naked truth actually. Risk management is the key word, and I actually agree with you. Mr. Bhavin, let's follow it up from there. The same thing, what is the investor approach for these kind of, if I may say, different asset classes during a market fall, downfall or something?
Hello? Yeah. So I think the larger part is taken care by my friends. But what happens is that it is not that easy on the day one that you start your investment or a trading journey. It is not that easy to decide the objective of it, right? So what becomes vital is that one needs to have the basic objective or a thought process in place, because what we always say that constructing a portfolio is like you need those 4 pillars of your building while you are constructing a building, and those 4 pillars has to be strong, keeping in mind the liquidity aspect of it, the risk and reward, the tax efficiency. All those things are very important while you you are constructing a portfolio. Why we say constructing is because it cannot happen overnight, right? Unless you are a hardcore trader, it's altogether a different ball game, different mindset. Like my friend mentioned that it is altogether a different ball game. But when you going through all these kind of different phases of market volatility, market uncertainties, there is a lot of choppiness in the markets. It's being a range-bound markets and not kind of a one-way upward or a one-way downward. These are the times that the investors, it's kind of a very varies from an investor to investor. So when you talk about HNIs or any larger investor, they are just waiting for such moments because they want to do a value picking. And that is where, because they've realized and matured enough over a period of time of their investment journey, that wealth creation can only happen over a period of time and not overnight. So the value picking approach into a lot of stocks, depending on the portfolio, what is the focus of the portfolio, also with the mutual funds, then you have a lot of diversification across the portfolios. So the approach towards it, you will have all set of investors crowd. I mean, in this auditorium itself, we will have all the varieties and all the ranges of investor and trading community and as a fraternity. I mean, all of us also would be different in our thought processes in terms of when it comes to your personal portfolio management. So it becomes very important that you decide, because the stocks can give you a 40% return in 4 weeks and it can take 4 years also. And there is a very thin line difference when you talk to investors, which largely they are not aware about, is what is the thin line difference between risk affordability and risk tolerance, right? Because probably you as an investor might be in a situation to afford losing a 50% of the capital, right? But probably you might not be able to see or bear a drawdown on your portfolio by 15% also. So these things really has to be incorporated while you are even choosing the instruments or while you are choosing the asset classes, because every asset classes are absolutely different in nature. Why do we talk of diversification? It's because of that, right? Not all the asset classes are going to perform at the same time. So one needs to have these basic things in mind. It is not that complicated, but of course you need to be, there are a lot of advisors and managers in the industry and in the markets available. I'm glad that, such platforms are enabling us to reach out to people and the investor community in this fashion, and at the same time, it's vice versa. A lot of people are showing this interest in learning rather than just, like my friend said, it's called an herd mentality. मेरे दोस्त ने बोला यार Reliance बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, ले लो. अरे I feel a left out feeling. There is a FOMO. मैं चढ़ गया कल जाके घोड़े पे और फिर पता चला उसी दिन उसका ब्रेकआउट वो रेजिस्टेंस आ गया और वहाँ से रिवर्स हुआ. So these are the things that one is to avoid and kind of be content, and narrowing down your options of investments doesn't happen overnight. It only happens over a period of time. You will realize that what exactly you can, today, I mean, we deal with a lot of clients, all the set of clients. I was recently about 20 days back talking to an investor and, as a prospect, and we were discussing over the opportunities. End of the day, obviously, the questions that we face that, kitna return doge sir aap? Right? So, the realistic expectations as an investor, one should really have a mindset that a 16 to 18% CAGR returns is decent, which is on a surplus thing where your wealth creation is happening. Sir, क्या 15% तो मैं ही बना लेता हूँ, 25% तो मेरे को मिलता है. Sir, आप क्या 16% की बात कर रहे हो? So this is what is indicating how the market frenzy is right now, and that is what we as institutional players really fear, because those set of investors have not really been a witness to the drawdowns, to the volatility, to the downtrend of the market. I'll give you a classic example. I'll take probably a minute more, but I think it should be helpful. Recently, in last 6 months, I had come across a person, who's been a civil engineer, a contractor from the real estate field, and he had a switch of his job. And in that meantime, of course, we were associated in some ways, so, we kept discussing about the market, and he also wanted to kind of learn things. And you won't believe, in that time span, he actually learned a few strategies or your observations, probably enter or exit. And while the switching of the other job came, he's like, Babin sir, मुझे लगता है मेरे को जॉब नहीं लेना है अभी. मैं बोला क्यों? तो बोलता है सर आपको मैं रोज स्क्रीनशॉट शेयर करता हूँ ना, आई एम मेकिंग 20-30,000 एवरी डे. मेरा चुपचाप जाके ना कल ऑफर लेटर एक्सेप्ट कर और मेरे को अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर का really seen the market yet, and I'm glad that he picked up a job. And just before I was traveling abroad, and just before elections, he had a super slap because of course, and I had clearly told him koi position rakhna mat, because it was all trading strategies and trading, it is always better to kind of, be away from during such major events when they are taking place. And the following week I happened to meet him for some work, and I happened to ask him, बेटा तेरा ध्यान किधर है, तेरा क्यों फोकस नहीं लग रहा है, तेरा मूड आउट लग रहा है, क्या हुआ, पैसा लग गया क्या तेरे को? So he had shared a screenshot while I was traveling, and that day he had a complete negative, drawdown. And I said, welcome to the market. You've been trading since 8 months, but today I'm welcoming you in the market. I said, this is. But one needs to understand ki what is your forte, and if you are able to be so successful overnight, I mean, we all would have probably deployed our own money and not being into the hassle of handling clients' money. So I think he learnt a lesson, and I think he happened to mention कि सर अच्छा हुआ मैंने जॉब ले लिया. मैं बोला अभी तू सोच ले कि तेरा हालत क्या होता था अगर जॉब नहीं होता था तेरे पास. I mean, there would have been no backup, right? Because he has kids, he has a family, he's running, and a decently educated guy. I said you do this as a passive thing if you are liking it, but you cannot make it a primary source of your income just out of a 6-month learning. तो मैं बोला हम लोग सब लोग 15-20, then I mean we would have been way ahead doing our job. So I think every asset class or as an investor one needs to have their. आज मैं आपको एक सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि खाना फ्री में मिले, दारू फ्री में मिले, या अपने को जितना जो भी फ्री में आता है या पैसे दे के देते हो, राइट? अपना एपिटाइट तो वही रहने वाला है. फ्री में मिलेगा तो शायद एक रोटी ज़्यादा खा लेंगे, उससे ज़्यादा क्या. सो when undigestible returns, one needs to get content कि भाई मेरा पेट भर गया, 30% मिला, let me exit. There are ample of opportunities. I mean, the same stock probably or a scheme would give you an opportunity. Had you ever thought during pandemic Tata Motors 64 में मिलेगा? It was a no-brainer. पेट्रोल से सस्ता शेयर मिल रहा है आपको. So you think of a price and you will see them on the screen. Over the years, I mean, we have observed largely all are from the markets. I mean, we've seen that left out feeling और FOMO के साथ अगर आप घुसे तो समझ लो वो उस दिन का टॉप रहेगा. in the larger scenario. Right? You have lot of opportunities, keep diving into it, have some basic hand holding from advisors, managers. There are a lot of people around, and I think that will be the best and safest, because one wrong advice can, you know, take you for a ride, and one right advice, small thing, can really improvise your financial well-being. So I think that is very, very important. I really hope that, you know, people don't shy away from taking advices, guidances, opinions in constructing and building up their portfolios over a period of time. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. We have also seen the impact of global events. The Indian markets may not affect the world market, but the world markets do affect the Indian markets. Be it the Iran-Israel conflict, be it the Ukraine-Russia war, be it the Japan interest rates, everything affects us. So I would like to ask Mr. Siddharth, who better than you would tell me about ETFs, the impact of ETFs on the investor behavior about ETFs in their diversified portfolios.
So, हर कोई स्टोरी बता रहा है तो मैं भी एक स्टोरी बताता हूँ फिर टेकिंग द क्यू. तो सी जैसे मैंने बोला आजकल मार्केट में काफ़ी सारे ऑप्शंस हैं, ETF में काफ़ी सारे ऑप्शंस हैं, बट काफ़ी कुछ डिपेंड करता है एक इन्वेस्टर की रिस्क प्रोफाइल के ऊपर. सो आई शुडंट से दिस बट आई मैनेज चाइना हैंगसेंग टेक प्रोडक्ट. नाउ पूरी दुनिया पॉजिटिव रिटर्न दे रही है, इंडिया में हर प्रोडक्ट चल रहा है, यूएस मार्केट चल रहा है, बट चाइना इज़ दी ओनली मार्केट विच इज़ नॉट डूइंग वेल, राइट. From all-time high, it is down almost 70%, Hang Seng Tech. So, a lot of investors, and we manage around 15,000 crores gross basis in ETFs only, ETFs and passive. But सबसे ज़्यादा क्वेरी आजकल मुझे चाइना के लिए आती है कि चाइना का PE आजकल 10-12 का है, बाइडू, अलीबाबा, टेंसेंट कितने अट्रैक्टिव लग रहे हैं, सर डाल दे क्या? That's it. People don't look at geopolitical issues. People don't look at जो issues चाइना में चल रहे हैं वो 6 महीने, 1 साल, 2 साल, 3 साल चल सकते हैं. People don't look at issues की चाइना में जो 9% की ग्रोथ रेट थी, मे बी अभी वो आने वाले टाइम में 5-6% का ही एक एवरेज रह जाएगा. लेकिन देन 2 टाइप के क्लाइंट्स आते हैं. एक क्लाइंट ने मुझसे पूछा कि मुझे 8 करोड़ डालना है, बट वो 8 करोड़ उसका 1% ऑफ द पोर्टफोलियो है ओवरऑल, राइट. I said, yes, okay. If you want to put 8 crores and that is only 1% of your corpus, that's a good tactical call. आपको 1-2 साल बैठे रहना पड़ सकता है. But if it gives, it will give you, and it is diversifying your overall portfolio. You are over dependent on India. आपका US में थोड़ा बहुत allocation है, China में कुछ नहीं है, good. Another client comes with a 25 lakh, that is 15% of his portfolio. I obviously say no. That from a tactical allocation point of view, 15% on China is a crazy bet. Even 10-11 के PEP, हर चीज़ जो सस्ती होती है वो शेयर मार्केट में अच्छी नहीं होती है. देयर माइट बी रीज़न बिहाइंड वो इतना वैल्यू पे ट्रेड कर रहा है. सो इन ग्लोबल कॉन्टेक्स्ट there are a lot of opportunities. We run a global AI fund which only invests in companies which are on the software and hardware AI side. It does phenomenally well. A lot of people have made money. We run Fang Plus ETF, given crazy returns. Nvidia run up significantly. But then we also manage global EV fund, electric vehicle fund. And that has corrected significantly because of high inflation, the discretionary demand, the EV demand has come down. China has not done well. US maybe EV demand is not significant. Lithium prices have come down. So point is that as soon as you talk about global opportunities, lot of risk, additional risk come into play. All of them look attractive, but कई सारे question marks और आते हैं जिसको देखने की बहुत ज़रूरत है, right? Why China is not doing well? Reason क्या है? ये reason sustain रहने वाला है? Why EV is looking attractive? Will that attractiveness continue? AI के ऊपर क्या? All those question marks may not be there in Indian markets, but they are very relevant for global markets. So अगर किसी को ग्लोबल मार्केट में इन्वेस्टिंग करनी है, EM में, DM में, कहीं पे भी, you need to obviously do more research, think more openly. Only चार्ट से काम नहीं चलेगा, only PE मल्टीपल से काम नहीं चलेगा. And And that is what I think a lot of people already do. I think I've seen again a lot of investors, at least on the family offices side, who do a lot of research and then come up with the allocation. And I think that is the most important thing. As I mentioned, 1% China allocation is probably right for that investor. 15% China allocation is strict no. So ETFs you can use for all those portfolio allocation calls using global funds also. But again, look at your risk profile. If you're sitting on a lower corpus, sitting with too much, let's say, focused on one stock, let's say, probably you need to diversify using, let's say, a more risk-averse product like a low vol or a gold or anything else. So it depends on each individual. आपका कॉर्पस क्या है, आपकी रिस्क प्रोफाइल क्या है. आप हर कोई लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर होता है जब वो इन्वेस्ट करने आता है, बट थोड़े से भी करेक्शन में हर कोई शॉर्ट टर्म इन्वेस्टर हो जाता है. सो दैट इज़ समथिंग यू शुड ऑल्सो कंसिडर कि आप कितने टाइम तक रह सकते हो प्रोडक्ट में. एंड देन आई थिंक देयर आर प्लेथोरा ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज. आई एम सीइंग आउटसाइड only crypto stalls and broking stalls and whatnot, but then there are plethora of active PMS, ETFs. Do what is right for you. And that's the most important thing.
Rightly said. That's the case with ETFs. Talk about forex trading strategies. I think Mr. Sandesh could give me an insight on that. What do you feel the forex trading strategies, whether they are adapting to the global disruptions?
Yes. See, forex trading strategy, what happened? Global disruption when we talk about. So first example I will take about the AI and machine learning. I mean the technological disruption. See what happened is in recent years, especially post-pandemic, the utilization and adoption of artificial intelligence and machine learning has increased, and that has actually taken the forex trading and the risk management to altogether a different level. See, high frequency trading was not in so much of use. People were not aware of high frequency trading. We just have heard somewhere here and there about high frequency trading, but nowadays it has become a core part of trading strategy even for retailers. They have adopted to HFT, AI, ML in their day-to-day trading strategy. So due to this disruption, forex trading strategy has evolved a many-fold, multi-fold, especially during post-pandemic, after economic crisis also. Even in 2008 economic crisis, you will see there were initially people used to look into, the trader used to look into the technical parameters only. So you can see during 2007 everything was going smoothly. All technical indicators were showing a bullish indications. Then what happened? Suddenly market fell down. So that actually increases the adoption of fundamental analysis. Trader used to trader actually started taking course into fundamental analysis also. That was along technical analysis will not help you. You should also learn and understand the fundamentals of the market. Okay, and that is where, that is the first step of adopting fundamental analysis. Many trader, they move forward, they took one step further and they adopted, that is something called diversification. That was also missing before this economical disruption. So diversification in forex was in a very minimal percentage. There are so many forex traders here, they are all speculator. Nobody is even thinking about diversification in forex market. So during this financial disruption, what happened is a portion of allocation has shifted towards cryptocurrencies. Now cryptocurrency seems as a alternative for currency devaluation, as an alternative for inflation or a hedge for inflation. So these are few changes, major changes happened post this disruption, which forex traders have adopted these different strategies.
So it's cryptocurrencies, is that what you are saying, sir? The investors are shifting their preferences?
Yes, cryptocurrency, and see, initially they were only looking into chart patterns. Now they are adopting a fundamental analysis. ठीक है. Now they are looking into something called central bank policies. They were not giving importance to all these central bank policies earlier. It was only chart and some news, and okay, we are good to trade. But now, after this, economical disruption, yes, they have to look into fundamentals. They have to look into central bank policies. They have adopted high frequency trading. At least started learning about it. They adopted artificial intelligence, machine learning in defining their strategies. So all this technological advancement has actually changed the landscape of forex trading altogether.
Agreed. I am also seeing a lot of shift towards alternative assets. Investors in search of high returns, more volatility, alternative
Yes.
portfolio diversification, they are shifting to different assets now.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Alok, if you could enlighten me,
Yeah, ETF
whether
is
you
one
are
of them. Yes.
experiencing the same. Yes, sir. Are you
So-
experiencing the same with your retail investors?
Almost, yes. So before that, I just want to add one more point what he said in the HFT side. So first of all, whatever HFT we can see right now, it's not only technology advancement. There are, thanks to our entire retail segment, they have started really participation, right? If you observe, I don't know whether you guys know about HFT players or not. Globally, all the HFT players have started office in India, all. So Citadel just came last year. Before that, Jump Trading came. Before that, XTX came. Recently, Optiver, it's Amsterdam HFT players. So most of these HFT players enter into Indian market, and the biggest reason is not only technology advancement. The biggest reason is now retail is started participating the same way what Insti or prop people are doing, right? That is also one of the biggest reason, right? Now coming to that alternative investment, see, retail. I mean, now there is also a category in retail also. It's not core retail. But yes, in the recent time, there are a lot of startups, lot of new age people. Gen Z have made money due to several IPOs, Zomato, now Paytm money, Paytm.
Ola.
Then your Ola, right? So all these people have made a lot of money, right? Now these people are not stick to only retail trading, like family offices, right? They have also started growing. So they all are looking for investment opportunity where they can minimize their risk. Now, as an individual, one option is I can start, open an app or web, open an account and start trading. But that will give, see, everyone have their own journey. Some people is working in FMCG, some people is working in some different, maybe supply chain. Nobody knows everything, right, in our domain. So they are looking for investment opportunities. In those scenarios, people are more inclined to that alternative investment.
Right.
Now, so there are largely 2-3 reasons. The one is which I feel that on a higher ticket size, they are looking for a diversification, which my friends have already explained, right? Because the more diversified would be, the better for, the lesser is for me, right?
Right.
And nobody want to burn their entire money in one go. It's very rare, like my friend have told, it's very one or two customer who want to invest everything in one stocks or maybe one underlying. That is one of the biggest reason. And let me tell you again, in recent scenarios, retail consumers are well informed. Okay, sometimes they know more than us. Okay,
Right.
they come up with lot of data and lot of knowledge that you are amazed. Okay, we feel that we know everything. They are also doing lot of research. So when they come to you, na, they have very targeted questions. They will not ask you, आप alternative में मुझे invest करना आप बता दो. They will be more specific to which alternative investment they are looking for.
Exactly.
Right? That will give more advantage from our end also, because we are pretty much clear what exactly he is looking for. That is also, and in recent time, in the last 6-7 months, like ETF is one of the biggest example. Who in the last 2-3 years, who is going to invest in ETF? Nobody even talking about ETF, right? The mutual fund sahi hai era is just converted into ETF sahi hai and equity sahi hai right now. And if you right now if you start talking to, I'm sure out of 10 people, 5 people are interested to alternative investment. They want to know about. And the same, and I'm pretty much confident in the next 1 year, it will be growing like more.
Yes.
More people looking for that. And largely only 2 reasons. There are ample of reasons. One is diversification. The second is how can minimize the risk.
Risk.
Because for the smaller ticket, that might be not, they're not even much of worries about for them. But for a large ticket size, they are only looking for 1%, 2%, 10%. That number is different. So for everyone, number is different.
Right.
But certainly people are 100% biased for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Gautam, you being a wealth manager yourself, how are you incorporating this shift to different assets for your retail investors? How do you do it to mitigate your risk and all?
Yeah, so I just wanted to add to what he said about the growth of the alternative investment fund space. So alternative investment funds, you know, there was this study done unlocking opportunities, India's private credit landscape, where about 55 alternative investment funds were, questioned and surveyed, and their AUM was expected to grow double in the next 4 to 5 years. The average deal size has gone up by 30% in the last 5 years from 2018, and the average fund size has gone up from 300 crores to 700 crores in the last 1.5 years. So if I look at the overall industry, we are looking to touch about $600 billion in the next 8 to 10 years. So really the alternative investment fund space is here to stay and is growing extremely rapidly. Now, coming to the point of what's its use in the client's portfolio.
As a wealth manager.
Yeah. So, first of all, clients don't look at alternative investment funds as a source of reducing risk. They look at a way of accessing alternate risk. So, it's an alternative form of beta. You got your public markets and then you want access to private markets. They are a different type of risk. You want to take that both on the equity side, on the debt side, to be able to get that risk profile also and diversify across betas. So if you have, let's say, a portfolio of ETFs, it's essentially you diversifying across different betas, and that's what alternative investment funds provide, is an alternative source of risk. And that's what clients are looking for, they are comfortable with. The other reason why they look at alternative investment funds is if they are investing, let's say, in the public space, public equity, is because they want access to a specific fund manager. So I could invest in HDFC Asset Management Company and get my fund managed by Prashant Jain for 1,000 rupees. And now I have to get my funds managed by Prashant Jain by giving 10 crores. Because his alternative investment fund is available, starts at 10 CR, right? So you have these other options available, but that you can get access to if you want to get that fund manager. On the fund management side, what is happening is a lot of fund managers who've been managing public equity, they are saying, boss, मैं उसके लिए काम क्यों कर रहा हूँ? I can start my own shop. And there are so many people, you know, for example, Abacus, you got White Oak, you got all these fund managers who started Marcellus, you've got all these fund managers who started their own shop saying that we can do that ourselves, right, for our own brand, for our own equity. And they are the ones now providing access to, AIFs again to investors. So that's really how it's developing. SEBI is coming in now with new regulations. It's introducing a alternative asset class, that's what they call it in the circulation paper, with a minimum investment of 10 lakhs. So that is going to be a big boon for this industry, because then you'll be able to have a well diversified portfolio, even if your portfolio is small. And the second development that I will want to highlight is now we are getting fund of AIFs. So now you have an aggregator model working where you invest in a single alternative investment fund with a commitment of 1 crore, and then that fund is investing in different alternative investment funds. So it aggregates your money, investors' money, and then it provides you a basket of 4 or 5 AIFs, which otherwise you won't be able to get access to, because most of these AIFs are in the institutional space. They don't take money less than 100, 200 crores. So someone with just a crore can then access those kind of strategies as well. So these two developments that are taking place are going to be fantastic for the industry, and that's why it is going to help the industry grow. Because frankly, abhi sabko lagta hai mutual fund boring hai. My 80% of my portfolio is still mutual fund, but mostly in the industry, that's what the general view is.
I agree. We'll talk about technology and AI, how they are taking over now with the trading game. It's all about algo. In fact, in the morning I heard Mr. Devesh speaking about the algo taking over and how it has become easy for a regular investor to just take your mobile phone out, use the algo software, finish your trading just in a couple of minutes and get going with your other businesses in case you have one. It's that easy. So taking it further from there, can you please tell me, Mr. Amardev, how do you think is AI and technology influencing the trading segment, and what are your input in the same?
Yeah, thank you, Priyanka, and thank you everyone. I'd like to start with is that we hear a lot of AI, we hear a lot about ML, we hear a lot about artificial intelligence. We also hear a lot about algorithmic trading. But here I would like to give you some different types of perspective, and which will really, I would say, challenge how you think. So algorithmic trading has been there for decades. In India, it's been picking up. Why? Because it's ultimately the cost. जब cost कम होता है, तो जो चीज़ें हैं वो आसानी से लोगों को, masses को उपलब्ध होती हैं. So algorithmic trading, you've got your charts, you've got your APIs, you've got your strategies, and also the people are learning. The young generation, if you look at India, they are learning. I would say it's happening across the board. But the important point here is that algorithmic trading, what does it do? You have a strategy, आपकी एक strategy रहती है, strategy execute automatically होती है. वो जो strategy automatically execute होती है, वो बहुत important है, because ultimately it is your strategy that will make money. So there's a term in computers, GIGO, G-I-G-O, garbage in, garbage out. तो आपकी strategy जितनी अच्छी रहेगी, उस हिसाब से ही आपकी जो परफॉर्मेंस रहेगी. यहाँ ये भी समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कोई भी, there is no strategy that will work all the time. It's like the seasons. We've got a rainy season, we've got summer season, you've got winter. Strategies also will keep on changing as per market conditions. Right now we are in a spectacular bull market, bull rally. We see corrections, again there's a bounce back across the board, across sectors, across caps, multi-cap, large cap, small. We are seeing huge opportunities, and PSUs, which earlier log PSUs को touch नहीं करते थे. Now PSUs have come in a big way. So the point what I'm trying to tell is that algo is a very good way, provided you work on strategy. आपको अपनी strategy पे काम करना होगा, उसकी back testing करनी होगी, and you have to critically examine. होता क्या है कि हम लोग अपनी गलती जो है वो नहीं मानते हैं. We all have egos, nothing wrong in that. बट क्या है कि इफ़ यू कैन ऑब्जेक्टिवली, यहाँ बायसेस की बात हो रही थी, तो वी ऑल हैव बायसेस. बट जब आप ये समझते हैं कि हाँ, आई वॉन्ट टू मेक मनी, वॉट इज़ योर ऑब्जेक्टिव? द पर्सन हु इज आइदर ट्रेडिंग algorithmically और मैन्युअली, योर ऑब्जेक्टिव इज़ टू मेक मनी, योर ऑब्जेक्टिव इज़ नॉट टू बी राइट. ये समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि वी कैन बी राइट एंड वी कैन स्टिल लूज मनी. एक जो बता रहे थे, एक स्टॉक में वो 11 करोड़ उनका जो है, वो स्टॉक में मेजर करेक्शन हुआ तो ही विल लूज अ लॉट ऑफ मनी. सो द पॉइंट व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू इज दैट रिस्क मैनेजमेंट, इन्होंने पहले बात की, रिस्क मैनेजमेंट प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. तो यदि आप एल्गोरिथमिक ट्रेडिंग में जाते हैं, इट्स एन एक्सेलेंट एरिया, बट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आपको उससे पहले स्ट्रैटेजी पे काम करना होगा. अब जस्ट टू गिव यू अ पर्सपेक्टिव, फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोई डॉक्टर बनता है तो उसे 5 years लगते हैं MBBS डिग्री में, इंजीनियर बनता है तो 4 years लगते हैं. तो आप मार्केट से कैसे एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि वो आपको 2 दिन में ही पैसा दे दे? और जैसा इन्होंने बताया कि 8 months उन्होंने पैसा बनाया, एंड सेड मुझे काम करने की क्या ज़रूरत है, आई डोंट नीड टू टेक अ जॉब. सो द पॉइंट व्हाट आई एम टू टेल यू इज दैट द मार्केट इज़ अ वेरी ब्रूटल प्लेस. मार्केट आपका कोई दोस्त नहीं है, आपको ये समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड यू हैव टू थिंक लाइक दिस, दैट यू आर अ सोल्जर in a market and your life is on the line. And what is your life? That is your financial capital. तो जब आप algorithmic trading में जाते हैं या किसी भी टाइप की ट्रेडिंग में जाते हैं, your safety net is your money management. आप अपने रिस्क को कैसे मैनेज करते हैं, that plays a very important role. तो जब आप रिस्क मैनेजमेंट, और जैसे साइकोलॉजी की बात हुई, आई वुड फुली अग्री कि साइकोलॉजी इज रफली अराउंड 50%. 30% इज योर मनी मैनेजमेंट एंड 20% इज योर स्ट्रैटेजी. चाहे आप उसे मैन्युअली एग्जीक्यूट करें या एल्गोरिथमिकली एग्जीक्यूट करें. एल्गोरिथमिक एग्जीक्यूशन में ये बेनिफिट रहता है कि यू डोंट हैव टू सी ऑल द टाइम, बिकॉज you've done a lot of testing, you've done a lot of studies, and then you just, it's like a button, you switch on. It's like electricity, and then you switch off. So that opportunity gives you the freedom. Plus, algorithmic trading, mein what happens is that you can traverse different asset classes. यदि आप manually trade करते हैं, तो you can look at select stocks. But if you're doing algorithmic trading, so that's more of strategies, that's more of mathematics, that's more of technicals, that's more of derivatives. तो ये सब आप यूज़ करते हैं. But you can look at then a vast universe. आप मतलब hundreds of stocks को monitor कर सकते हैं, scan कर सकते हैं. तो ये opportunities आज के डेट में retail participants के पास भी है, जो पहले सिर्फ I would say institutions जो थे उनके पास थी. तो that opportunity is a big opportunity, and I would definitely recommend कि उस पर आप लोग ज़रूर. और मैं एक चीज़ ये ज़रूर कहना चाहूँगा कि there is no age to start. That's very important. You can start any day, any time. अच्छे काम करने के लिए कोई भी टाइम अच्छा है. So if you can spend some time learning, that will be very useful. And at the same time, मैं ये भी ज़रूर कहना चाहूँगा कि just don't get carried away by the algorithmic trading. जैसे मैंने कहा, गीगो, garbage in, garbage out. यदि आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी अच्छी नहीं है तो पैसा नहीं बनेगा. तो और यदि आप कहीं और से किसी की स्ट्रैटेजी ले रहे हैं, then you should ask questions कि इसकी लास्ट 5 years की परफॉर्मेंस कैसी रही है, इसमें कितने ट्रेड्स आए हैं. बिकॉज यदि लास्ट 5 years में सिर्फ 10 ट्रेड आए हैं, सो देन दैट्स नॉट अ गुड सैम्पल साइज. आइडियली सैम्पल साइज में यू शुड हैव 20-30. तो ये क्वेश्चन है. फिर कितनी ड्रॉ डाउन हुई है, मतलब पीक से जो मैक्सिमम लॉस कहाँ तक पहुँचा है. सो देर आर मेनी पैरामीटर्स विच आर देयर, बट आई वुड डेफिनेटली रिकमेंड यू शुड एक्सप्लोर, एंड दिस इज़ अ गुड एरिया.
I agree. It's a perfect
thank you.
balance, the way you said, sir. It's a perfect balance between risk management, algo trading, as well as your strategy. It can't go the other way around. कोई एक भी चीज़ कम होगी नहीं चलेगा, सब चाहिए. Let's take it from here to Mr. Bhavin. Mr. Bhavin, like we were discussing in the VIP lounge, after the pandemic, we are seeing a lot of entries in the stock market. A lot of investors, newbies, everybody are entering. This emerging market is very attractive but risky. Your take on it, sir?
So I think, like I mentioned earlier as well, since pandemic, there has been a lot of new entrants with across the age groups. I mean, we've seen incidents, cases like probably even businessmen who were probably looking to start their investment journey. Time nahi mil raha tha, kab demat account kholu, all that procedure, and to kind of sit across with a wealth manager and discuss the strategies and investment. I think across the range, across the demographics, people have entered into the market. Only thing what we fear is that these first time entrants or the has not seen the downtrend. So like I just gave an example of my fellow, वो drawdown जब पैसा लगा तब जाके समझा कि this is also possible. Largely that is only possible. But if you are getting out in a disciplined manner, like my friend said, the discipline and consistency is across the gamut of as a rule book that one needs to follow. Because discipline अगर नहीं है तो बस सिर्फ you are playing on the luck then. Because just recently, like my friend said that any product or any investment instrument that you are choosing, there is always in bold letters, इसमें 12% guaranteed, 15% guaranteed, what is the past record of a scheme, it has given 16% CAGR and all that. But understanding the risk is more important, that to achieve that 15%, what is the risk you are undertaking and are you prepared for that situation just in case if at all it triggers, right? So that becomes the most important thing. So I think since pandemic, market has been one side. It has made careers for a lot of people. A lot of times we come across people who are not from the market, friends, family, cousins. Market कैसा लग रहा है? How is the market? So my only answer is कि गलती के सौदे में पैसा आ रहा है. So that is the kind of market had been कि आपने कोई स्टॉक किसी ने बोला है ये अच्छा है ले लेना और गलती से सिमिलर स्टॉक कोई विद द सेकंड नेम बीइंग समथिंग एल्स सिमिलर ग्रुप और आपने वो ले लिया 15 दिन के बाद अरे आई टोल्ड दिस स्टॉक सी इट इज अब तो मेरा यार ये तो साला 3% नीचे है तू बोल रहा है 15% ऊपर है कौन सा स्टॉक है ये और उस दिन देखते हैं तभी वो स्टॉक कोई और ही आ गया रहता है और उसमें भी आपका पैसा बनता रहता है. So the market has been like that, and that is what has kind of attracted a lot of crowd and new entrants. But I sincerely advise that do not shy away from taking advices. Take a lot of pain yourself as well, along with us, to understand which is going to be long lasting for your own self while you are building up your portfolios. And I think we all are here to help you and take you through your investment journey. So ये चीज़ें बहुत ही important है, and we always try to educate crowd as a platform and as the people and investors that we keep coming across every time, that building a portfolio and wealth creation can only happen over a period of time. Lot of tools, mutual funds. I think mutual funds, I would say, is one of the best and one of the most beautiful instrument that one can really choose to for different goals of your own. I think it has got most of the permutation combination one can choose. And I always say this, that any reward or any appreciation or any returns that you are looking at, always consider that there is always some or the other kind of risk associated with it. Even having a savings account, putting all your money into a one savings account or FD also has a risk in it. And I think that is the only couple in the universe that never can get divorced, is risk and reward. That is the only one couple that can never ever get divorced. Because आप अगर 8% के लिए FD में डाल रहे हो, तो उसमें भी there is that one probability that probably we all would have heard across banks going into financial trouble and all that. So understand the risk aspect first and then try to because returns जो मिलने वाला है वो मिलने ही वाला है. That is not going to go anywhere. But have your portfolios constructed in that way, and I think that is especially for the larger crowd who has been into the market for not more than 5 years, I would say, physically witnessing a lot of different trends and volatility in the market across. But there are multiple ways and multiple instruments that one can choose at to construct your own portfolios for any kind of financial planning or goal planning. Because even if you go to see only equity as a market, as an asset class, has 10 different ways of you investing or taking an exposure into equity markets. So it is like choosing an Uber. You want to go by road, but that you want to do a carpooling, you want to do a bus, you want to take a bus where it's more like a mutual funds. You want to have a Uber driven car, or you want to self-drive yourself, take the thrill of the markets. It's more like trading. So these are the different ways that your portfolio can be constructed. And I think मार्केट अच्छा चल रहा है तो हाथ धोना ही चाहिए सब लोग को. वो 30% के लिए 3 साल मत रुको. अगर 6 महीने में मिल रहा है तो लेके निकल जाओ. फिर वो 30% मिल रहा है तो फिर वहाँ पर ये नहीं, ये तो डबल होने वाला है यहाँ से. And that is where the pain point starts. So with a lot of our clients and portfolios, we if we had anticipated a certain projected a certain returns, actually what a lot of times it happens कि वो target पे actually technical breakout आता है. So it becomes a lot of times tricky, but you can always keep, because पैसे जेब में आते हैं तो ही आपके हैं, नहीं तो वो पेपर पे मजे लेते हैं और फिर वो दिखते हैं तो 30% नीचे भी दिखता है पोर्टफोलियो. So keep cashing in, and I think there are then lot of opportunities. Don't stick on, like my friend said कि मार्केट में कोई एक सिंगल स्टॉक के साथ शादी मत करो. Don't marry a single stock, right? You can have affairs with a stock, enjoy and live, because then there are a lot of other opportunities, right? So I think it makes a lot of difference if you are playing around and try to maintain your trading and investment book separate, because a lot of times wo short term momentum trading might ruin your investment planning. So try to maintain a discipline, I think should be the key takeaway.
I agree, sir.
Thank you.
We are running short of time, so I'm going to quickly hurry up. I want every one of you all to give a quick advice to all the trading community that we have over here. What could be the next thing that they should be looking up to for a quick green in the portfolio?
Yeah, my advice will be to trading community is first learn and then earn. Now you are not putting, you are not investing enough in learning and getting yourself educated about the various trading opportunities available. See, you must be trading into stocks, or you may be trading into forex or any particular cryptocurrency. That is okay, understood. But if you are making money, or even if you are not making money in one instrument, that doesn't mean you should not learn about the other opportunities or the other instruments available for the trading. So learning is a continuous process, and you must keep on learning, because the financial landscape is changing so fast that what is valid today may not be valid for tomorrow. So learning should never stop, and then you should trade with proper risk management, proper trade management, it has been talked so much of time. It is like, if we do pranayam, our health will be fine. But who does it? जो करता है उसको फ़ायदा मिलता है. तो वैसे ही ट्रेड मैनेजमेंट का है. एक हमारे सज्जन आए थे हमारे बूथ पर, बूथ नंबर 90 पे, कि सर मैं बहुत कुछ ढूंढ रहा हूँ और समझना चाहता हूँ कि ट्रेडिंग कैसे करे. तो मैंने उनको पूछा कि मैं समझना चाहता हूँ कि आप ट्रेडिंग कैसे कर रहे हो. तो ही इज़ यूजिंग द हाईएस्ट लिवरेज पॉसिबल. जितना लिवरेज ब्रोकर ने दे दिया है पूरा लिवरेज यूज़ करके वो एक दिन में करोड़पति अरबपति बनना चाहते हैं. मैं बोला सर दिस इज़ समथिंग नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क. आपको आपका ट्रेड प्लान करना पड़ेगा, आपका रिस्क प्लान करना पड़ेगा, आपको कोई स्ट्रैटेजी बनानी पड़ेगी. उस स्ट्रैटेजी के ऊपर आपको 30 दिन रोज़ काम करना पड़ेगा. अगर उसमें कुछ मॉडिफिकेशन कस्टमाइजेशन की ज़रूरत पड़ती है तो आपको 30 दिनों के बाद करना है. तो ये सारी चीज़ें सर आपको करनी पड़ेगी. ठीक है, बाकी मार्केट में बहुत दम है. मार्केट यहाँ से बहुत ऊपर जाने वाला है. और क्या बोलते हैं ना, दिस इज़ अ कैपिटल मार्केट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. कैपिटलिस्ट आर मोर डेंजरस पीपल बिकॉज दे know how to earn profit out of all situation and any situation. So capitalism is never going to die. और हम कैपिटल मार्केट की बात कर रहे हैं तो इमेंस अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ आर देयर इन कमिंग टाइम्स. लाइक अभी क्रिप्टो करेंसीज आ गए. फॉरेक्स इज द लार्जेस्ट मार्केट इन द वर्ल्ड. मार्केट साइज सबसे बड़ा है, $7.5 ट्रिलियन पर डे का है. तो आप समझ सकते हो द मोर इज़ द लिक्विडिटी द मोर इज़ द अपॉर्चुनिटी. और सिमिलरली क्रिप्टो करेंसी का भी बहुत जल्दी होने वाला है. तो आपको सीखना है, ट्रेड मैनेजमेंट करना है और आपकी मेंटेलिटी सही रखनी है. एंड आई विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर ट्रेडिंग सक्सेस. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Bhavin.
So I think a quick, I would say we are familiar with a terminology called tip. So a quick tip for the trading fraternity should be that if you are a real trader, follow the stop losses as well. Not only wait for the targets. टारगेट पे बिक गया लेकिन अगर टारगेट आने के पहले स्टॉप लॉस हिट होता है तो यू हैव टू हिट, नहीं तो फिर वो शिवाजी महाराज की जय, फिर खड़े रह गए. राइट. सो फॉर द ट्रेडिंग कम्युनिटी इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि यू मेंटेन स्टॉप लॉस एंड कीप रिव्यूइंग स्ट्रैटेजीज और what you are kind of taking the bet on and for. And for the investors community also, I would say the very, very healthy practice one should really have is keep reviewing your portfolios. That has been there, just like how you are normally inclined to do a medical checkup for your own self. Do a medical check of your portfolios as well, because the dynamics in the markets are very, very fast. They change very drastically and rapidly a lot of times. If it is just adversely or positively affecting your portfolios, one need to be aware about it. Since you all are, and the key thing is be consistent. Discipline is more important, and don't try to time the market, but spend more time in the market is very important. That is where a wealth creation can happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhavin. Mr. Alok.
Hi everyone. So my both the friends have talked about do's. I'll tell you don'ts. See, the one thing you need to stop is following zero to hero strategy on social medias. That's the biggest learning. And every time someone reach out to me, sir, मेरा loss हो गया, I always ask कि कहाँ से किया था. If someone is actually making money, they don't need to present on social media. They don't need to tell you कौन सी strategy से पैसा बन रहा है. और अगर बना रहा होगा वो social media पे नहीं है. You will not find any good options trader in anywhere in social media. Let me tell you, anywhere. Okay. So stop unfollowing all these people who have a lot of knowledge about trading and they are making lot of money, which probably we never seen. So lot of money. So my humble request is, please do not follow any those people. There are registered SEBI advisors. There are stock brokers who are in the premises of regulation, where you can ask question. If you have any problem, you have always rights to ask. You know to whom you need to reach out. You know to whom need to complaints. There are completely regulated environment. So please do not take suggestions to the people who don't know. Like my friend have already multiple times has mentioned that don't shy away to ask the questions. Please ask to the relevant people, not your friends just because he have a good bike, he probably travels to US. You ask, start taking their advice to invest. Please do not do. Please go only to the registered people or people who know. And the first thing you need to do that, stop unfollowing all these social media heroes who are making lot of money and unfortunately you guys are not able to make even after following from several years. That's the one advice for all of you. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Gautam.
So there is an investor and a trader within each one of us. So the problem with all of us is that when the market starts doing very well, then हमारे अंदर का trader जाग उठता है, and when the market starts correcting, then suddenly we turn into an investor. And that's why you'll see a lot of people who will then hold on to those stocks which they couldn't get out of when the market corrected, and now suddenly they become long-term investors because पैसा बन जाएगा, right? So the challenge, how do you address that, is that you define this rule for yourself that if you have less than 10 lakh rupees, then you're Garib. So first accumulate 10 lakhs and put that in your core portfolio, which is your investor side. That portfolio, if it grows at 15% in a well-managed equity mutual fund portfolio, after 30 years will become 10 crores. That's enough money for most of us, right? So 10 lakhs को side में रखो, 30 years का long-term investor portfolio बन गया आपका. Just manage that through an advisor. Well-managed equity mutual fund will become 10 crores. उसके ऊपर जो भी है उसमें आपको जितना अपना ट्रेडर का एम्बिशन निकालना है, जो आपको गेट रिच क्विक स्कीम्स अच्छी लगी उसमें डुबाओ, जो भी करना आप करिए वहाँ पे. But the point is that at least you have a core and satellite approach then, right? Because the temptation will always be there. FOMO will be there, temptation will be there. So you can satisfy that through other means, but always have that core portfolio. And you can obviously mix this. You can have 10 lakhs or 1 crore or whatever. But that is really the approach that most of us need to take to address this tendency to go after that new shiny thing that has emerged, and where suddenly you'll make millions overnight. And that's the only way I think we'll be able to address it.
Thank you, Mr. Gautam. Mr. Siddharth, last words for the audience.
I'll be very quick. इस मार्केट में और इस वैल्यूएशंस पे जितना आप ध्यान रिटर्न्स पे दे रहे हैं, उतना ही ध्यान प्लीज रिस्क एंड रिस्क मिटिगेशन पे भी दीजिए. That's it. Thank you.
That was short and sweet. Thank you. Mr. Amar.
Yeah, I just would like to say that in any trade there are 4 outcomes. You got a small profit, you got a large profit, you got a small loss and a large loss. Large loss से जो बचना सीख गया, he is the winner. Secondly, होता क्या है, when we are in profit, we become a trader, and when we are in loss, we become an investor. तो यदि आप अपनी ये रिवर्स साइकोलॉजी कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज जो मार्केट्स में सक्सेसफुल होते हैं, दे नो हाउ टू पुल द ट्रिगर. कब उन्हें लॉस काटना है, दे नो एंड दे रन आउट. तो मार्केट में आपको फाइट और हीरो बनने की जरूरत नहीं है. व्हेन यू आर इन लॉस, बुक योर लॉस एंड गेट आउट. एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, मार्केट में देर इज नो प्लेस फॉर इमोशंस, बट वी आर ऑल इमोशनल बींग्स. तो मार्केट्स में इमोशंस की कोई जगह नहीं है. And there is also no hope. There is no place for hope in the market. Hope is very good for in life, but not in markets. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you everybody for making it for the session. We were supposed to have an interactive audience session, but we have run short of time. But the panelists will be more than happy to interact with you down there. So in case you all have any queries, please do interact with them, but not on the stage. We shouldn't be taking up much of their time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Leaders, what a show that was. I should say a short film on finance. That is a better way of putting it. Again, big round of applause for our sensational 7, the best the industry that has to provide. Okay, one question from mine. This is going to be super rapid, super fiery, rapid fire round. You have coffee with Karan, but now you have Nimbu Pani with Nikita. Complete demotion, but okay. Very, very quickly, without any explanation, in one word alone, what is your greatest asset? Starting off with, of course, ma'am. In one word, no explanation needed. What is the
I belong to
greatest?
the stock market, but I'm a very family person. So yes, my kids are my assets right now.
Wow, sir.
I would say mindset is my greatest asset.
Mindset, wow. Wife, अरे,
Sir.
उफ, क्या है ये जज्बाती
Everyone heard it,
जज्बाती जवाब? Sir, yes. Greatest asset.
My son, yeah.
Your son, okay.
My knowledge.
Your knowledge.
Discipline.
Discipline. Beautiful answers. Arey, beautiful answers.
Education and my institute.
Oh my God, my God. Again, getting emotional. Beautiful answers. Thank you so much, leaders. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. Again, a big round of applause.